Four Knights of the Apocalypse Chapter 236 is officially out, and I know what you're thinking. This is an early chapter review of what's going on. Well, Golden Week in Japan is next week, so we're going to be on a break for Four Knights for about a whole week, and the chapter ended up getting released a day earlier in Japan, so we got it here on a Monday. So that's why you're getting this video earlier, if all goes well, than usual. So we got this chapter on a Monday, so now we have more time between chapters to think about how the story is going to progress further. But either way, what a chapter to leave us off with, because not only do we finally get to see the tower that Merlin presumably is within, Gawain so far being the key to the Four Knights' survival in this area of Camelot, and ending the chapter off with a character returning in full force, seemingly, that I am hyped about. It's probably going to be the thumbnail anyway, but despite that, we're going to get to all that in just a second. But before we jump right into the video, don't forget to once more like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Shows you like what I make here and shows you want to see more. Before the year ends, I'm aiming to hit the 50k subscriber mark, so let's see if we can get to that. I'm going to be saying that every video from now on, because if I talk about it more often than not, it might actually happen. I might be coping, but who knows? I've said stupider things. And if you want to see more of me outside of this channel, don't forget to check out my second channel, GW Comics, where I talk about comic books. DC is the main focus right now, but I'm going to dabble into other stuff as well going forward, so look forward to that. It's a passion project, and I'd really appreciate it if you guys go check it out whenever you get the chance. Link to that will be in the title card above and in the description down below. Now then, let's jump right into chapter 236 of Four Knights of the Apocalypse, titled Guided by Blood. And the cover image is of the Four Knights napping, actually getting a chance to rest now that they're in Camelot before they restart their journey again. Gawain is just snuggled up with a blanket, Percival is sloppily on the ground, Lancelot is transformed to Sin, curled up like a ball. I guess that's probably more comfortable for him, or he just got so used to being in the form of Sin that that's kind of his preferred way of sleeping now, for all we know. And Tristan is lying down like he's in a coffin. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of sleep the same way. I learned not to move much in my sleep. But anyway, the chapter begins with the Four Knights waking up as they manage to find a way inside a random abandoned home so that they could finally get some rest. Gawain is the first one up, waking up the others as she flies out, saying that they have to start getting going again, but she notices that there is a very thick white fog all around them, as they can't see. It's beginning to swallow them up, all the clouds around them, to the point where they can barely see their feet. But as they continue walking, in a double-page spread, we get the reveal of a giant, seemingly ever-twisting and tangling tower just on one floating island in the middle of Camelot, as all four knights are dumbstruck from what they've seen, while Lancelot kind of snickers at, well, that's a twisted-up building if I ever saw one, and Percival is all excited about it, because this is actually a very nice callback to the beginning of Chapter 1 in Four Knights of the Apocalypse. Percival mentions that this is the last thing that his grandfather talked to him about in terms of, things to see out there in Britannia. The twisty tower where the cruel mage lives. And yeah, readers that do remember realize that everything that Vargas said when he was giving a story to Percival in the first chapter has effectively come true. We had a knight on a flying sky ship, which was Ironside in Chapter 1, a cave with a bunch of lined holes with wind holes in it. That was the place where, in the demon realm, that connected between the demon realm and the human realm, where they entered thanks to Io during the demon realm arc. A princess who lures heroes into her demonic lake, obviously the Lady of the Lake, and a maze-like forest you can never hope to escape, which is the Entangled Forest during that arc when they were being chased by, I believe the Order of Chaos Knights they were called was the Dark Talismans. It's been so long since I've revisited that part of the story that I honestly do not remember their names, but it's the arc where Lancelot fully reveals himself. Either way, this was the last thing that Vargas said at the beginning of the story that we are finally seeing, so yeah, everything he's mentioned has been shown to us, the readers, or even Percival to a degree, and so a lot of future events have finally been revealed to us. But yeah, Percival's all excited about that as they go over and we see more of a shot of how far winding this tower is, as it seems that whoever lives here doesn't want any visitors. Either that or they're hiding something at all costs. Gawain ends up asking how this would show up out of nowhere, but Lancelot mentions that Merlin did say that the key was inside of her, so maybe this tower decided by itself to reveal itself to Gawain. As she then realizes that, she flies forward straight to the tower, calling out for Merlin, to finally see her mother face to face. But there doesn't seem to be any entrance, wondering if there's some secret entrance somewhere so they can enter the tower, as Gawain keeps calling out to Merlin to open up for her. You can feel the sense of desperation Gawain has because she now only knows who her parents are, and now she has the chance to meet her mother, but now she's basically getting blocked by her own mother in some roundabout way, so I kinda feel bad for her in that instance. But as she's calling out, we actually get to see this wall of the tower sprout a mouth and an eyes saying, "Recite for me the credo of the holy knights." Which Gawain is like, wait, a credo? What? And Lancelot's like, oh yeah, there was something like that, wasn't it? And of course, the two knight nerds that are Percival and Tristan recite the entire Holy Knight's Creed simultaneously and without getting a single thing wrong. And I found that hilarious. Of course, the two either most knightly characters or the ones that idolize the Holy Knights the most would recognize and know the creed the most. Gawain, not really caring about that type of stuff, would definitely not know about a credo or anything. And Lancelot is so nonchalant, he doesn't even remember that there was a credo, for instance. I just found that hilarious. And with that, a massive doorway opens, or I guess a chasm opens in the tower as Gawain leads them right inside so they can go and try and find Merlin. But once they enter, they see an unending hallway of multiple doorways leading to different rooms. Percival mentions that on the outside the tower looked all twisted up, but it appears that was more so for visual effect. The inside of the tower, at least in this section, seems to be relatively straightforward, but each of these doors might lead somewhere else in or out of the tower. And so now they're wondering where to go. But Lancelot just says smugly to trust his gut and follow him. As they follow Lancelot's pathways to go left, right, whatever, as they're going around, seeing a bright light, and Percival is hyping up Lancelot, saying how great he is and he's some kind of genius, while Lancelot is taking all that in, as when they leave into the light, they're back where they started, as Lancelot had no idea where they were going. But Percival gets all smug and says, hey, you mind if I try? And so they then follow Percival all the way around, but they end up back where they started, fully showcasing that this is some sort of maze, but also that some kind of magic is keeping them from making it farther into the tower. Obviously, Merlin would not make it that easy, just say the Knight's Creed, and then you can walk in and meet her. She had to have had multiple layers of security in order to make it through within the tower to get inside safely. Lancelot's asking, hey, why don't we just, smash this place up with Percival's weapon? That way it'll be a lot quicker, with Percival instantly realizing, no way in hell I'm letting you touch my weapon, you're just going to break it like everything else. And Tristan's trying to get them to calm down, saying that they have to take their time to work things out. Again, loving that this chapter is giving us a lot of the four knights just interacting with each other in general. I will always praise this, and I wish it was something we had a lot more of pre-time skip. But as the three of them are wondering what's going on and how to figure things out, Gawain ends up asking them if they haven't noticed this shadowy figure that's been standing around in the tower like it's made of black mist, as she looks all freaked out, with Tristan, Percival, and Lancelot not knowing what she is talking about. But Gawain points over to somewhere else within the hallway as we see a shadowy mist around the corner, but the others don't see it, as Lancelot asks Gawain to pursue that shadow for them, as it seems only she can see it. Now this is actually a really cool detail. Throughout the previous couple of pages where Lancelot was leading the four knights through all of these different hallways, same thing with Percival, Gawain has had some very dumbstruck look and even a sense of pause. Maybe even a bit concerned. Now obviously this is a less detailed drawing of Gawain, as she just in the background and all this was for comedic effect, but it is a nice little bit to show us that Gawain, throughout these last few parts of the tower, following the rest, trying to figure out where to go, she was noticing something they weren't, and it was gravely concerning her, she had to bring this up as well. And so Lancelot realized that maybe this might actually be some sort of, trick to getting through the tower, since Gawain is the only one that can see the shadowy figure. And so Gawain begins to follow it, and they go through a different corridor as they see a bright light, wondering if they just made another loop back to the front door. But then, what they see is a big open field. They're seemingly out of the tower, nothing to be seen at all. And so they might have to go a bit further. But Percival's wondering what's going on, as it looks like they went outside, but it doesn't seem like this was the exit. It's probably somewhere else in the tower. Percival tries to go walking off in the distance, as Gawain just tells him to stop and asks if he wants to die that badly. As everyone's concerned of what she's saying, as like, what's going on? What do you see? As Gawain is like, are you all serious? Can you not see all of this? As we then see a full page again of the Four Knights standing in the middle of what seems like an utter hellish nightmare. A bunch of monstrous creatures with jagged teeth in the air all around them. Giant guillotines, volcanic eruptions. As the Four Knights are just standing there, and a bunch of stalactites and piercing diamonds or whatever the hell are all around them. And it seems that only Gawain can see it. And I honestly think this was made with the real Arthur's power of chaos, because the way things are misshapen and created like this, I wouldn't be surprised for an extra layer of protection. Arthur created this chaos-scape for people to kind of not realize what's around them, while Merlin masked these monstrous creatures with some sort of perception magic to keep this hellish scene from being seen, and just everyone who walks into this room somehow just sees a nice, calm, serene field. Gawain tells everyone to just listen to her and follow her in a straight line so they don't die. Nice and tight, and not to jump out of the way. Percival is goofing around being like, oh Gawain, you and your jokes, as a bit of his hair just gets sliced off by something he does not see. And so we get these nice comedic panels of Gawain just doing a bunch of random zigzags and full 90-degree turns and whatever to make it through this hellish scene. Obviously this is probably not putting in a lot of the detail for a comedic effect, but also he probably didn't have time to draw all of this, which will probably be added into the full-on volume release. Either way, it still serves the purpose of it being kind of funny and ridiculous with how Gawain is moving around. But they move forward as Gawain seems to have found the exit to this room. But now, they're in another space, what seems like a dead end in a giant square room. As it seems like this might be the end, but Merlin is only clearly revealing this to Gawain, her own daughter. And so she's guided them in here by blood, so then I guess that makes sense, and also refers to why Merlin said that the key to getting to Merlin was within Gawain. But we then see something in the center of the room, something that looks vaguely similar to Merlin's sacred treasure, as Gawain hovers towards it. But once they reach it, a voice echoes out, and they feel this immense magical pressure that even Gawain says that it's way too much magic force. As this person says, "Show me the blood of the witch of gluttony, and you will receive the truth. But anyone impudent enough to come here without the right credentials," as someone walks in towards them, he says, "they are doomed to face a hopeless death at my hands," as the final page of the chapter reveals Big Daddy Sunshine himself, the Lion Sin of Pride Escanor, in all of his glory. And I believe in the outfit that he wore in the Holy War arc in Seven Deadly Sins. And that's how the chapter ends. Honestly, really, really damn cool. What a way to not only end a chapter, but to leave us on for a break. That is insane. First off, this whole chapter was honestly kind of hilarious, and I also liked all the character interactions. The idea that Gawain was just drawn to the tower, and that once I guess she was close enough, the tower revealed itself to Gawain and the Four Knights since they were with her. But going within this endless maze of doors, the only way to go through the correct passage of doorways, the correct pattern, was through Gawain, who saw this bizarre shadowy figure, or just shadowy mist, that was seemingly guiding her, because she has Merlin's blood, and the way through the tower is within Gawain's subconscious for all we know. And then Gawain being the only one to guide the four knights through this hellish landscape that keeps anybody but her from seeing what actually is in that area is honestly really cool. And ending it off with Escanor at the end of this chapter, generally great. But then here lies the question. Why is Escanor here in the first place? Well, here's the thing. Here's what I think. This is a perfect replica of Escanor created specifically to test either the four knights as a whole or just Gawain. Now, this could be full-on combat or to test Gawain's ideal and sense of like heroism to show that she is the rightful heir of not just the boar sin of gluttony, but the lion sin of pride. He also said the blood of the witch of gluttony, so obviously Gawain would have to be the person to face off against this Escanor figure. And I like how his magic presence seemingly might be an actual replica, actually made everyone, even Lancelot, stutter for a sec, which I love how no matter what, Nakba will continue in any way, shape, or form to give Escanor the proper glaze that he deserves. But yeah, this seems to be some sort of test before they actually meet Merlin and Arthur, which is what the next chapter is definitely going to focus on. Is this actually Escanor himself? I don't think so. Remember, the actual spirit of Escanor is within that magic golem with the T-Rex head that raised Gawain with Merlin's magic doll. And he was still in Leonis while the four knights were here in this area. So unless Escanor's spirit left this body and went straight to Merlin's place thanks to her sacred treasure or whatever, because we do know that it can house souls, though I think it's primarily her soul, I wouldn't be surprised if this was an exact replica created with Merlin's magic and Arthur's chaos to be basically the ultimate guardian of Merlin and Arthur, using chaos and Merlin's own memories to create a seemingly lifelike replica of Escanor as the guardian. Feels right, and would also be a really cool way for Merlin to honor Escanor's memory. Even though she did kind of bring him back, this isn't Escanor fully being revived to fight again. Because I remember, like a year or two ago, I said that I wanted Escanor to not be revived in some stupid way. I didn't want him to be brought back as a chaos monster for everyone to fight. I did not want him to be brought back just so we can fight again. It would make his sacrifice pointless. The way we got him back inside the doll to basically raise Gawain, I'm like, okay, I can live with that. This one does not seem like it's going the revival route, unless, like I said, his soul got brought back to Camelot and he was put in like an artificial body with chaos reviving the power of sunshine just for this test, and that's it. Either way, I'm excited for next chapter, and I'm excited for the inevitable full-on reunion of Gawain and Merlin, and for Gawain to truly meet her mother for the first time, and the four knights to meet the true and real King Arthur. But you guys let me know what you thought of this chapter in the comment section down below, and what you think is going to happen going on in the future of Four Knights of the Apocalypse. Guys, we still have to know what role the Holy Grail Knights are going to do in this arc, why they're even here in the first place, and we still have the stuff going on with what's going to happen with Kath now that the sins gave him generational trauma. Leave all your thoughts and more in the comment section down below, and once more, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos and show you want me to keep these videos up, and we get closer and closer to 50k every single video. And if you want to support the channel more directly, go and check out my Patreon, link in the description. All that really helps me in making more videos with editors so that I can get these videos out in a timely manner for this channel and the second channel. Plus, I have some Limbo videos going up within the next week or two of videos that I haven't uploaded like at all due to them not being video series that I could not complete, and I didn't want to throw them on the channel without finishing them, and stuff that I'm waiting to release until there's the right time but haven't found the right time to release them. Those are going to be coming out within the next couple of weeks, one by one, so look forward to that if you are subscribed to the Patreon. But with all that said and done, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have an awesome day.